No one enjoys intimacy with their spouse except they first come to the understanding of what intimacy with God and intimacy with themselves means. Welcome to Orgasm Reforms Institute monthly webinar. And this month we'll be learning on intimacy. Irrespective of your religion, I believe you know that God created sex, not the devil, not the society, not media and TV shows, and not even pornography. And God not being the foundation of how we think, especially about sex, is the problem. We are all created as sexual beings, meaning there is a part of the creator that is sexual. And he didn't just create you a sexual being and dump you to go figure it out all on your own. There is a part of him that is sexual, and we've never asked him because we've always believed that sex and God cannot be used together, and that's a lie. Your sexual and spiritual life are interwoven. No one is higher than the other. How you relate to your spiritual life affects your relationship with your sexuality and vice versa. When sex becomes confusing, God becomes confusing. Your sexuality and spirituality both long for intimacy. The end goal of sexuality, the end goal of spirituality is intimacy. When you leave one for the other, you get into trouble. As beings, we are expected to steward both our sexuality and our spirituality. We steward both. You do not live out your spirituality to attain sexual peak. Neither do you live out your sexuality to be spiritually awakened. Both are interwoven. Your relationship with one affects the other. So if you're going to enjoy intimacy with your spouse, then you want to intentionally steward intimacy with God and intimacy with yourself. Now, you need to forgive yourself and those who taught you. If you've always thought that God's first disposition regarding your sexuality is rules and regulation, if you've always believed, if the information you've been exposed to is all about no sex till marriage, keep yourself, don't do this, don't do that, you need to forgive yourself. You need to forgive those that taught you, because God's first disposition to your sexual lives aren't the rules and regulations. And you also need to forgive yourself if you've always thought that God isn't interested in your sexual life. God's first disposition to your sexual life isn't rules, like I said earlier, but you knowing His art regarding sex. And when you know the art of God regarding sex, this will help you start a journey of sexual integrity with Him. Every sexual activity is a spiritual activity. God wants you to enjoy sexual pleasure, and everything God created was for His pleasure. Your sexuality should give God pleasure. And do you know that your spiritual relationship with God dictates on how you bring God into your sexuality? Obviously, by now you should know that God should be in every of your sexual activity, because your sexual life should give Him pleasure. And how you relate with God spiritually dictates on how you bring Him into your sexuality. And there is no formula for developing an intimate relationship with God. I know as Christians there's this rigid way of life when it comes to spirituality, and it is robbing us of so many things, because you cannot manipulate God into a relationship. You cannot manipulate your ways into a relationship. Like, relationship with God is not, it's not based on rules, it's not based on formula. But as Christians, we just live this rigid life, and it is robbing us a lot of good things. And we bring this rigid lifestyle into our sexuality, which is wrong, which strips of us of the fulfillment we're supposed to engage in as sexual beings. So everything I've been saying basically since morning is just that for you to enjoy intimacy with your spouse, you need to understand the art of God regarding sex. And the art of God regarding sex is not in the rules and regulation. So you want to open yourself to know the art of God regarding sex by being intimate with God. And if you want to be intimate with God by bringing Him into your relationship, I want you to know that the way you relate with Him spiritually dictates on your sexuality. So you want to start by correcting how you relate with God spiritually. I hope you understand to that point. So God is interested in your sexual life and He wants you to enjoy sexual pleasure because the sexual activity should give Him pleasure. Now, if God wants you to enjoy pleasure sexually, as a sexual being, permit me to inform you that pleasure doesn't start on your wedding night. And this leads us to the second point, intimacy with yourself. Your relationship with yourself is the most important relationship there is. And it's crucial to maintaining a deeper connection with your partner. Intimacy with yourself allows you have a deeper connection with your partner, and it is very, very important for you to be intimate with yourself because you are going to be with yourself for a long time. You are going to be with yourself for a long time. So the journey to sexual pleasure doesn't start on your wedding night. It starts from the day you realize you are a sexual being who has sexual needs. And like I've always said, virginity doesn't end on your wedding night. So the fact that you finally engage in sex on your wedding night is not the end goal of virginity. Rather, it opens you up to start a journey you've been preparing for while waiting. And unfortunately, a lot of people do not prepare. A lot of people just stumble into sexual activity because they grew up seeing people having sex and there's this feeling they have and they just think, okay, I think it's time for me to have sex. A lot of people do not prepare, which allows them have sex when they shouldn't. And even virgins that tend to not engage in sexual activity do not even wait, they do not even prepare. And we have a lot of virgins that complain about their wedding night. A wedding night doesn't necessarily have to be pro, nor does it have to be quack also. And another unfortunate thing is a lot of people think sexual intimacy, a lot of yeah, sex coaches inform people that sexual intimacy is all about masturbating, in the sense that they make you believe that if you're going to enjoy pleasure with your spouse, then you want to start by enjoying pleasure with yourself, which is wrong, which, which is not healthy. I define self-intimacy as the journey to enjoying sexual pleasure. And this journey starts when you realize you are a sexual being that has sexual needs. And this journey ends the day you die. So self-intimacy is a lifelong journey. It doesn't start on your wedding night. Self-intimacy doesn't start on your wedding night. It starts the day you realize that you are a sexual being that has sexual needs. And until you master self-intimacy, there is no way you can enjoy intimacy with your spouse. So, if I say self intimacy is a journey to enjoy sexual pleasure, what is this journey? What is this journey? And this is a journey we engage in, not starting from our wedding night, but starting from when we realize that, okay, yes, I have sexual desires, I have sexual needs. So, it is the journey between that period you realize to it continues to your wedding night, it continues to pregnancy, it continues to postpartum, it continues till when you die. Self intimacy continues till when you die. And what do you do in this journey? What is this journey all about? So if you are a virgin that is waiting, or if you are someone that has started engaging in sex, you really want to listen to the next few points I'm going to be listening and start bringing them into your life, because you need to know what self intimacy is really about. Number one, self intimacy means knowing and being aware of your sexual desires, your sexual emotions, and caring about them. So, when you are waiting, one thing you want to do is to know and be aware of your sexual desires, and not just know, but you want to care, you want to pay attention to your sexual desires, you want to care, you want to pay attention. Awareness makes way for mastery. When you are aware of your sexual desires, you pay attention to them, you care about them, you ask yourself objective questions, and this allows you know how to master these emotions. Our sexual emotions don't define us, we steward them. And how do you steward something you are not aware of? So if you want to be aware of yourself, so if you want to be aware of your spouse's sexual desire, sexual emotions, it starts with you being aware of your own sexual emotions and how you steward and how you master. If you've not learned this on your own, there is no way you can be of help to your spouse. And even if your spouse haven't learnt it on their own, there is no way they can be of help to you, because this is not a one thing, it is a two-way thing. You are learning, is also learning, is preparing, you are also preparing, both of you are preparing, and when you meet each other you help each other. So self-intimacy is not you engaging in you dipping your hands into your vagina, or the guy rubbing his hands on his penis to achieve pleasure. No, understand that desire, know the desire, become aware of the desire, care about desire. You want to know, why am I having these desires? Is it because presently I'm ovulating, or because for the past few days or few months or so there's been an increase of sexual content I've been exposed to? Why is the hormones in my body raging? You want to know. And these desires do not define us, we steward them. And when you learn how to steward your desires, you must it creates room for mastery. It creates room for mastery. So that's for point number one. Point number two, self-intimacy means learning, loving, and accepting your body. We do not talk about this often, but there is a need for you to learn, to love, and to accept your body. Because if you do not learn, love, and accept your body, there is no way you will learn, love, and accept your spouse's body. When you look into the mirror, do you like what you see? Do you appreciate what you see? The magazine is not the what we see in the magazine is not what you should look like. The kind of pictures you see on social media is not what you should look like. They are not the standard. Yes, that's the word. They are not the standard. And if you do not appreciate what you see in the mirror, then it is You don't just sit down and engage in pity party. It is irresponsibility for you to engage in pity party because you do not love your body, because your body is kind of somehow, because you don't like your body shape, because you are not masculine enough, because your chest is not broad enough. You don't just sit and engage in pity party. You stand up, engage in exercises. You stand up, eat healthy food, stand up, live a healthy lifestyle. You engage in activities that improve your body shape to what you want. You work towards what you want. If you do not love your body, how will you love your spouse's body? Because you cannot give what you don't have. You can't give what you do not have. So you do not just wait till wedding night, and your wedding night you start shining away. Oh, I don't like the fat around my abdomen, this and that. No, it is irresponsibility. You are irresponsible. So in your season of waiting, you want to prepare your body to the body you love. You want to love, you want to accept your body. And a lot of women have been told in church that they will give birth like, a lot of women have been told that, yeah, you give birth like Hebrew women, you do this, you do that. Hello, you don't just give birth easily because by sleeping and waking up or reading a Bible, a Christian book that talks about giving birth like Hebrew women, or praying. Yeah, you don't actually pray yourself into giving birth like Hebrew women. Hello, have you heard about Kegel exercises? You will stand up, you will engage in exercises, you will engage in pelvic exercise, you will eat healthy meals, you will engage in activities that will allow you give birth easily. So you don't just take, just doesn't happen like that just because someone has told you, or because you believe, because you're a Christian, that you give birth like Hebrew women. Another thing you want to do is you want to treat your body well. You want to treat your body well. Self intimacy is just basically mm, knowing yourself, so you did be able to serve your partner's body well. Self intimacy is simply you knowing how to serve your body, knowing how to serve your sexual desire, knowing how to serve your sexuality, so that you will be able to serve your spouse's sexuality. And it is an insult on your intelligence as a being if you've always believed that self intimacy means you dipping your hands into your vagina as a lady or a guy, rubbing his hands or any other tools on his penis to derive pleasure. It is an insult on your intelligence, because as beings, like I said earlier, self intimacy is a journey, and that journey starts from the day you realize you have sexual needs till the day you die. And as human beings, we live life in phases. You live life as a single person, then you get married, then there is a season of pregnancy where both spouses are involved. And during pregnancy, there is going to be a gap in your sexual activity. From there is postpartum after pregnancy. A lot of couples do not know how to steward their sexual desires during this period, and it causes a lot of issues in homes. So if you've always believed that as a single person, that the way to engage in self-intimacy is to touch yourself, please, after you've given birth and there is issues sexually, are you going to tell me now that, now I've given birth to, there's this postpartum depression I'm experiencing, and it's telling on my husband, it's telling on our sexual intimacy, it's telling on our sexual activity. Now what I need to do is to touch myself again. Hello, like, báwo náà ṣe jọra? How does that correlate? How? So if you've always believed that sexual intimacy means touching yourself, it is trash. You've been fed lies. So you want to love yourself enough to debunk those lies. So that's by the way. So you want to engage in self-intimacy by treating your body well. Treat your body well. If not even for sexual intimacy, your body is the temple of the Lord. You don't want to keep trash in the temple of the Lord. God dwells in your body. So treat your body well. Treat your body with respect. Treat your body with respect. Learn about your genitals and how you care for them. For the ladies, learn about vaginal care. A lot of vaginas smell. That's even another conversation for another day. The way vagina smells, you want to really, really take good care of your vagina. You want to engage in vaginal care. This is an example of self-intimacy. I can remember my mommy telling me one day that, so that don't you ever allow your husband how does she even put it? Like the message she was just trying to pass was, my husband should never meet my vagina dirty and smelling bad. So that's for that. So you want to learn about your genitals and care for them, both for the guys and for the females. You want to also care for your undies. Yes, this and many more. So number three, self-intimacy means being intentional about the sexual content you take in. About the sexual content you take in. As a single, if you've always believed that sex is bad, pleasure is a sin, sex is demonic, sex is clinical, please. And if you've always believed that for 20 years of your life, my dear, when you get married, you're not just going to begin to enjoy sex just because you are now married. All those things that you believe in will begin to come to your face. When your husband touches you, hey Jesus, are you sure you are not engaging in sin like this? Hey, yeah. When your wife is touching you, Jesus is Lord. Can I do this? What am I supposed to do? The type of content you take in as a single person tells on your sexual outcome as a married couple. So if there is this sexual negativity around you as a single person, my dear, when you get married, that sexual negativity will be times two. Anyway, we have sex coaches, sex therapists. Get your money, pay us, and we will help you through that journey. But now I'm loving you enough to feed you with sex positive content. So as a single person, you really, really want to be sex positive. I know you're keeping yourself to marriage. I know you're waiting. I'm also waiting. And sexual purity is freedom, not bondage. When you're exposed to an information and it brings fear, then you've kept yourself in bondage. And sexual purity is not bondage, it is freedom. The type of information you take in as a single person is directly proportional to your sexual outcome in marriage. Pleasure isn't sinful. Pleasure isn't sinful, and if you're going to enjoy pleasure in your marriage, it starts from what you do as a single person. So, number four, self intimacy doesn't just allow you to look sexy, but also to be sexy. There's a difference between looking sexy and being sexy. Just like there's a difference between you looking wealthy and actually be wealthy. You can look wealthy and not be wealthy. It will tell in how you talk, it will tell in what you do, it will tell in how you relate with people. But if you are wealthy, it will tell on how you look, how you talk, how you relate with people. Like there is just this wealthy atmosphere. Like there's just this, oh, you just know that this person is wealthy, and not like you're looking wealthy and you talk like a poor person. So self-intimacy doesn't just allow you to look sexy, but also to be sexy. And this promotes confidence. It promotes healthy self-esteem. A lot of women still, like in this century, we are still asking ourselves that should the woman initiate sex? Are you kidding me? Is this playing? What kind of playing is this? Hmm? So you can be putting on a sexy lingerie and you're just lying on your bed, you don't know what to do. Ah, oh girl. So self-intimacy promotes confidence, it promotes healthy self-esteem, it reduces comparison and competition, it opens you to yourself. It opens you to yourself. It keeps off negative energy. Self-intimacy keeps off negative energy. And one of and also self-intimacy allows you create your own luxury. It allows you create your own luxury. And this is a topic on its own. I think I'm going to talk about it. But let me just give us two examples. Like self-intimacy allows you to create your own luxury. And one of the ways to do that is it just to take away, yeah, luxury does allow you take away stress. It takes away stress. And one of the ways to take away stress and just feel good about yourself is you getting yourself sexy. Yes, can be expensive. When it's expensive, you value it more. Yes, and sexy laundry, and you put it on. Look at yourself in the mirror. You feel the atmosphere, like you feel good about yourself. Like you're just confident. Yes, you earn that. You earn that atmosphere. Like whatever it is you are feeling, you own it. Yes, you own whatever it is you're feeling. That's one of the ways to create your luxury. Another way to create your luxury is also another thing people do is to get into bathtubs and get into a warm bath, a warm milk bath. Also, this also allows you to own whatsoever it is you are feeling, allows you to own your desires and all that. We also have different ways of creating your own luxury. Buying yourself a black dress that really makes you feel good about yourself. Yes, buying yourself a new set of makeup, making your hair, fixing your nails. That's for the ladies. So that's for that. And finally, self intimacy also means forgiving your sexual mistakes. Of course, you should now we always talk about that. Forgive yourself your sexual mistakes. Forgive yourself your past sexual ignorance. Forgive your sexual abusers and all that. You cannot enjoy intimacy with your spouse if you've not forgiven yourself of your past mistakes. If you've not forgiven yourself of your past ignorance, if you've not forgiven yourself, if you've not forgiven your past abusers, you want to do self intimacy allows you to do a deep work of healing. You do a soul cleansing work and all that because if you are wounded sexually, you surely bleed on your spouse. So you really, really want to prepare yourself. These 5 points and many more ways are things things you can do on this journey to prepare you to enjoy intimacy with your spouse because all this allows you to enjoy intimacy with yourself which also allows you to enjoy intimacy with your spouse. I believe you've learned something. I believe you now have a substantial knowledge of what self-intimacy means, and I also believe that you will put this into your way of life and begin to be aware of your sexual feelings and pay attention to them and also learn to steward. Like I will always say, abstinence rules aren't for everybody. What works for me cannot work for you. So you want to know who you are. Self-intimacy allows you to know who you are sexually. You want to know who you are. If you are feeling this, what are the things you can do that will help you steward that feeling? You need to search deep into yourself. You need to ask yourself questions. You need to know what is behind every thought you are thinking about. Because what works for me cannot work for you. For example, if I have a sexual desire towards a guy, I tell him, hello, whenever I'm with you, I'm not always myself. And I don't want to feel that way. So I will appreciate it if for this period we can stay away from each other. Can you do it? Not everybody can. But this is one of the ways I still want my sexual desire. So you want to learn, you want to love and accept your body. You want to be intentional about the sexual content you take in. And finally, okay, number four, you want to not just look sexy, you want to be sexy. You want to feel it. You want to, like, you want to own your sexuality, you want to own your sexual energy. And finally, you want to forgive yourself every sexual mistakes. And believe you've learned something. Thank you for listening to this very point. Most importantly, share with your friends. And in the next video, next webinar, next month, I'm going to be talking about how to engage in intimacy with your spouse. How to engage in intimacy with your spouse. And December, I already promised us December, we're going to be learning how to set goals. We set goals for different phases of our lives, and I listed the different phases during this session. So in December, I'm going to be giving us how to set goals for the different phases of your life, because how you set sexual goals for your single life is obviously different from how you set sexual goals as a married person. And as a married person, we also have different phases in marriage. Thank you for listening to this very moment. Don't forget to share with your friends, your younger ones, your older ones, your married friends, your single friends, everyone around you. Everyone needs to be exposed to this level of information. And do not forget that when we have a lot of sexually sane beings in our society, then we are one step to building a sexually sane world. Thank you. Bye bye.